Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Formula Racing TV. Welcome back to Assetto Corsa Competizione for yet another race day here at Silverstone Circuit for season 23 of racing on Kunos Simulazione Racing Simulator. This time it's round number 2. It's race week number 2 as you are support, and so we are in Silverstone. So the first of 2 races in Great Britain, a double header for UK. I'm Andrea Mattarelli and I'll be commenting for you also this race for the second round of Multiclass first day season 23. And of course all the eyes are on Andrea Marcella, who won with absolute dominance the first round at Barcelona. And now the Italian man is trying to repeat in the second round as well. And he started well, I think, because he made already the fastest lap of the race of the free practice session. But only 88,000 milliseconds ahead of even of the Bulgarian driver on the Mercedes. Then it's Domenico Russo in the BMW with 6th third, and it could be also a real danger opponent. Then it's a 4th place for one of the new faces, Sieb Desert from Dutch. So another one. Then it's Rammensperger, and then Brenda Glover for now in 6th place, while Mirko Tirena is 7th ahead of Michel Delvaux, Sergio Martino, De Rosa, and Jack Prentice, Vic Overland, Lino Davos. While in GT4, Luca Montero, absolute dominator of race 1, is leading the way also in free practice for race number 2, ahead of Mirko Puletti and Matthias de Munster, who sits in 3rd in the first of the Mercedes AMG GT4. And it's Beltrame, it's Adam Sharpie, it's then Perez, who sits now, comes back into the pits. Then Lamin Keller, Van der Slotten now currently P28, 9th place in the GT4 class. Then McLean, DT, Pospisil with Twiddle, Trotmas, Mats, Else. And of course, one of the last to arrive, Chris Gedman, who now approaching his first kilometers in the Porsche. Maybe he'll be able to start a flying up. Let's see if he will complete it, or he will abort and pass directly to qualifying as fast as possible. He starts for now. The white checker flag falls down, and so qualification over with De Rosa and Overland. Overland the first to cut the checker flag. That signals at the end of procedures in practice. And so, when the moment will arrive, we'll be all heading for the multi-class qualifying. I remind you, we have the 10 minutes dedicated to the drivers in the GT4 category, and then the last 10 minutes of 20 will be provided for the drivers in the GT3 class at Taksowski. I definitely mispronounced that. It's 6 P5 ahead of Rammensperger. Good lap by the Poland driver. Hopefully he will repeat it in the qualifying. McLean also finishes. We have now Keller. The McLaren now currently sits 9th place in the GT4 class. Let's see if he will finish the lap or not. Now Keller outside the left field corner. And now we have Keller not improving, stay speed 28. Gedman will follow very shortly, followed by a GT4 car, which I believe is already into the pits. Gedman finishes the lap. So now it's time for the real action to start. It's qualifying time, first 10 minutes reserved to GT4 drivers. And then the last 10 will be all or nothing for the GT3 drivers. So now we start, of course, with the GT4 class, with Luca Mantego heading up the first, followed very shortly by his McLaren teammate, which I believe will be Marco Poletti. Yes, it is. Of course, I remind that they all fall in the same team, this GT4 drivers, where Marco Poletti is following the GT4 leader, the GT4 reference, Luca Mantego. And of course, there's more pressure on delivering a good result because it's a home soil Silverstone for McLaren. The Silverstone, one of the most historic and ancient track in the world, one that represents the heritage of motorsport. First Formula One race held here in 1915, and despite nothingness with Brands Hatch between the 70s and also in the 80s, it is now the stable home of the British Grand Prix. It also hosts several races like the MotoGP British Grand Prix, the Silverstone 6 hours of the endurance, which will return next year. Also, the endurance race, I think 3 hours Silverstone of the British GT Championship. And also several other national races like the British Touring Car Championship, the GB3 Championship, and many others. So really a place to be, but there's a race weekend, even virtual. Like we see now, Luca Mantego now will start his only flying lap permitted on the session, with Marco Poletti follow him very shortly. Lot of anticipation to see where will the McLaren number 87 end up. What will his lap time be? As Mantego is already pushing through Maggots and Beckett. Ooh, maybe even go a little bit. I don't know. Maybe he just went to get the lap cancelled, because that was a really risky cut on the curb. Hopefully it's nothing, but we'll see. For now, Luca Mantego continues, as does Marco Poletti behind him. Will follow his very shortly. Tries to take advantage of the slipstream and the presence of the leading GT4 car ahead of him, as now approaches the new straight pit box area, the one where Formula One and in the last year MotoGP now started their races. All the others, including GT World Challenge, it all started in the old pit box, where the first corner is directly the cops. Now the arena section for both Poletti and Mantego, sorry. And now Hamilton Straight, I believe it is, which will now lead to Brookland, and then Luffield. And you can see how clean this car are driving. Not maybe Poletti, because he went a little bit wide. Mantego will certainly set a fast lap. He will aim to take another pole position. And for now, and he does not improve. I don't know, because I think both him and Poletti did not manage to score a single lap time, a valid lap time, because meanwhile, only behind we have Matthias de Munster, 2 minutes 10.4 by the Belgian driver, who sits ahead of Laming, Waits and D'Amica. For now it's a 1-2 Mercedes, while McLean in the Porsche sits in third place. Keller in the McLaren second, behind the Munster by only 152,000 of a second. Alessandro Litti in the first the first of the Aston Martin, is fifth place. Adam Sharpie goes even nearest the provisional pole of the Munster on the 70,000th of a second for the British man in the Porsche Cayman. As all the other drivers are setting their lap time. Mantego and Poletti continuing. For what I believe, correct me if I was wrong, but I believe it was their second push lap. I believe it was the second push lap, so we'll wait and see. But they still are pushing, like they're still fighting for pole position, both Mantego and Poletti. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It is not one. It is this session qualifying is not about one shot, because it's that one is Super Sprint Sunday. Sorry, I was just mixed up. They can do whatever laps they like with the fuel. So let's see now where Montero will end up. It is first to 9.4 by the McLaren driver. Another level pace for him and for Poletti, who sits in second. So they went with a second warm-up lap, and that paid off. While D'Amica, it's second now in the Mercedes. And the track will get faster and faster. Look at Keller on the edge, 2 wheels almost on the sand, on the gravel. And Keller does not improve. That is how tight it is. Alessandro Litti, Aston Martin, improves but stays in P9. Ahead of McLean with Trotman, who is in the Ginetta. Usually this kind of track could be favored to the Ginetta, considering there are a lot of corners, even a high speed, where Ginetta really excels. But there are also some straight, the Hamilton straight, the Hungary straight, and so Trotman has a real disadvantage in those, over 3 second disadvantage over Mantego provisional pole lap time, and Trotman is P13. For now, in the GT4 class, only Perez has to set a lap time, as we have only 2 minutes left in the GT4 qualifying. And then we'll be able to see the other drivers compete, the one in the GT3 car category. A lot of tension there as D'Amica just lost it as he was approaching the rear session. He rejoins the track. It's clear for now. He can start another lap, but let's see if the pressure, the tires will be really compromised by that. Let's see Mantego, and he improves even further, another 10th. Put away from the provisional pole. Poletti stays in third. They both have one last shot. Let's see the Munster. Was really behind his opposition. Let's see the Belgian. He does not improve, but he started his final flying lap now. But the overall sensation that if the other drivers do not complete a miracle, Montero will get yet another pole position. And Montero is still pushing alongside Mirko Puletti, but the other team member Massimo Beltrame, who's running solo for now in the 915 McLaren. He's currently P9. He's been beaten by Perez. Perez, who's now P6. Final lap time for him. But watch out also by the clock, because it's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And GT3 qualifying is underway. All the GT4 class cars now are permitted to complete their lap time and then head straight to the pits. So soon the GT4 will leave, completing the way for the time attacks of the GT3 class. Matero will be the first to complete the lap in the GT4. Let's see if we will further improve. It's already extraordinary. 29.360. He decided to not proceed any further, so he goes into the pits. Poletti continues. He wants to at least start from the front row ahead of D'Amica. Let's see if he'll manage to do that. No, he stays in third place. And so now the ball drops to the Mercedes pair, the Munster and D'Amica. The nearest rival, the two McLaren of the Italian men. Let's see the Munster now out of the final corner. He improves, but not enough. Stays in fourth place. Sharp goes into the pits. Massimo Beltrame is in P7. Keller also into the pits. So I think it's all settled unless there are some surprises in the midfield of the GT4. Possibly does not want to proceed any further. Litis is already in the pits. McLean already in the pits. Witz already in the pits. Twitter in the pits as well. So Perez now heads in the pits as well. So it's qualifying over for the GT4 class with Luca Mantero on pole position ahead of D'Amica and Poletti. And now Andrea Marcella is the 4GT3 driver to start the flying up, the qualifying with his Porsche 992 GT3. And you can see Marcelo already blasting through Maggots, Beckett and Chapeau. And almost went a little bit in overdrive because he put two wheels onto the grass in the exit of Beckett's. Of course, very much expectation for Andrea Marcella, who is still a reserve of the championship, but we won the first round at Barcelona, conquering also the pole position. And so he will be aiming to make 2 out of 2. Even though there is a strong opposition as always. One of them is Ivanov, the Bulgarian driver in the Mercedes. Mercedes number 44. Where we heard that before. Marcella now entering the final sector, the slowest one. Now into the arena corner. Pushing to get the best lap time possible, trying to confirm himself on pole. And that will be all of the others. Now into Brooklands, Marcella goes, pushing on the limit in his Porsche, searching every inch of the racing line and on the curbs. Even almost approaching with 2 wheels on the gravel. Marcella crosses the line 1 minute 58.3. Not bad at all as a first attempt. Let's see if everyone else will be closer or even challenge Marcella lap time. Chris German is 1.8 tenths off. Ivanov is 4 tenths off. Second place for the Bulgarian. Jack Prentice in third, ahead of Chris Genman by just half a tenth. Ramsberger is third. We have now Ferrari big, and I believe it is Pino, the Portuguese. Look out also for the Zaire, the Ferrari 51. Tirena is a second in the Ferrari. Dopo in 10th, so Marcella first, Tirena second, Ivanov third, Takskowski in 4th in the McLaren, then Russo, Ravensperger, Van der Waal, Prentice, Gelman, Lopo, Overland, Bieke, Pino, and now we see another new entry, and it's Brendan Glover for the United States. It's 5th now. Now I think now Marco, it's 13. Let's see these drivers who have yet to complete a fly lap. Raffaele De Rosa in the 94 Mustang. Well ahead, Marcella improved even further. 157.5 by Andrea Marcella for now unbeatable, as Riccardo De Rosa it's in 8th place with the same time of Ravensperger. Of course, Ravensperger is ahead because he set it up first. Van der Waal has improved to 10th place. Infantino improved also, 4th place for him. So it's 4 Italians up front: Marcella, Tirena, Russo, Infantino. This multi-class first day really speaks my language very well, it seems. Because we are 1, 2, 3, 4. Not anymore, because the Zaire puts his Ferrari just under a second from Marcella's monster pole lap. And he's a second in Ferrari AF Corse Francorchamps Motorsport number 51. At what I think it is a lap of immense pressure by the French one. And now Barcolino in the Soul Aston Martin Vantage V8 fielded with the GT3 class. Behind it we have Andrea Marcella. Dino does not improve, stays in P16. Andrea Marcella takes some other milliseconds off from his pole lap time. He will have 2 more attempts. Mirko Tirena out of the final corner. Luffield. Let's see if Tirena will improve. Improves. It's not ahead of Russo in 4th place. And Ivanov, just as we speak, just crashed hard into the arena. And that's the qualifying done and dusted for the Bulgarian. No more attempts for that. Brendan Glover in 7th in the full Mustang. Let's try everything to get closer as another car has stopped in the exit of Luffield. And Glover is in 3rd place. Great stuff by the Ford driver. Well, we see now that the car stopped. It is Pedro Lopo. He now resume his regular activity, but I don't think that's good for this qualifying, because now We will start a slow lap behind the Ferrari. I don't think there will be many room for overtaking opportunities. Three, two, one. End of qualifying action here at Silverstone. Let's see how the grid will fold. No doubt about who will be in pole position, but who will start it with him on the front row. That's the question that everyone now is asking. And now Mirko Tirrena finishes lap time. Infantino does not improve, stays in 4th place. Let's see Tirrena. He does not improve, stays in 5th place. So it will be either no, it will be the same because Glover has come into the pits. So the Zer can only improve his lap time. And unfortunately it doesn't. Ivanov is into the pits as well as De Rosa. Lopo in the pits. The only two on track are Portuguese Pino and Marquez. Pino out of the final corner. Let's see, Pino improves but stays dead last. So now it is all in the head of Marquez. Will try to at least overtake Jaref Broken to take a P18. A lot of understeer from a Ferrari, as you heard from the rumors, the noises from the front tires. Marquez out of the final corner into the line, and he manages to overtake Broken by just 7 cents of a second. So Marquez 18, but of course no surprises at all about who will be the pole sitter, because Andrea Marcella has done it again. As you can see, he's yet again on pole with a 1:57.520, a time which was quicker than the second best, Dezer, by over 1 second. Just dominance by the Italian, with the Zero second, Glover third, Infantino fourth, then Tirrena fifth, Russo sixth, Ramsperger 7th, Ivanov in 8th, Tex Scott in 9th, Van der Waal 10th, while the GT4 class, as you will already see, it's Montego in pole position from P21, with D'Amica in P22, Poletti P23 for 1 to 3 from Italy, the Munster is 4th, Sharp is 5th, then Paris, Beltrame, Van der Sloot, Keller, Lamig to round out the top 10 of the GT4 class. Now, for this driver is the moment of the concentration, of recharge the batteries, recharge the miles, and prepare themselves for the start that will be the Multiclass first day race here at Silverstone, a track which promises great action in all classes and between the classes. So, just a little bit of the break, just a couple of minutes, and we'll be back on the starting grid for the starting procedures of round number 2 of Multiclass first day championship. And so we're back on the starting grid for the starting procedures of race number 2, round number 2 of the Multiclass first day season here at Silverstone. And we have already the grid all sorted out with Andrea Marcella on pole in the GT3 class, Arido Desir and Glover, and then Luca Mantego here between the mix of GT3 and GT4. In pole for the latter, Ines McLaren ahead of D'Amica and Poletti. Of course, I did not mention that, but if you're liking work, if you're liking what are we doing, just little like on the channel, subscribe to our channel, and subscribe to our Patreon member. That's what it means for us, and it means a lot. So we can bring more high content, high quality content for you and for this community. We are now everyone else. Oh, well, the Audi R8 GT4 does not want to go faster. I think he's the driver. That's a bold statement for pole position with Smith and else who are all seated in the back markers of the GT4 class. Will be aiming to have a comeback to try make up the field in the races. Of course, reminder, 45 minutes of race, one mandatory pit stop for all the drivers. And of course, keep an eye on those blue flags and on the lapping procedure. So now we have Marcella on the left, Desire on the right, as the multi-class first day event at Silverstone will be go right.
Green light, green light. Go,
now we're underway in Northamptonshire with Andrea Marcella with a rocket ship start, while Desire is already under attack from Glover, but Desire, the Ferrari driver, manages to hold the position on Glover. Then behind him we have a couple of movements with Tirrena losing a couple of places, while Ramsberger overtakes both the Ferrari of Infantile Tirrena. Great stop by the McLaren driver, while Ivanov is just on the tail of I believe that's Tirrena. Prettis with another great start. Is now up to P9 ahead of McLaren Takskowski. The Roosevelt World we have one Infantino tries back on Ramsberger, but it's not avail. Ramsberger wants to hold the position, while ahead of him Marcella, Desire, Glover and Russo are already setting up the pace. While behind him we have Luca Mantego holding up first place, while Matthias de Buster with a rocket start putting Mercedes right in second place ahead of Marco Poletti. I think it was a poor start, maybe something went terribly wrong for D'Amica, because he right dead to last. Real lucky for him, but Montero leading between the Mustero and Poletti. Then Sharping at the slot, Kenner, McLean, Beltram, Laming, and all the others. Well, I think it's a problem for one of the McLarens. This Beltram, who has been overtaken by Laming, I believe, Alessandro Liti. And the McLaren lost it. This Van der Slot, who lost his rear out from the arena section. First lap done and dusted with Andrea Marcella leading with already 2 seconds advantage on Desire. It looks like the fight for victory is over already before it has even started. So Desire, Glover, Russo and all the others will be contending the other 2 podium places. And then something happens with Marcella, which hopefully, we'll hope not. But all the others are already starting to follow each other very closely, as I already told you, you already saw Tuesday, in the Taco Tuesday series. It is not an easy track to overtake, because there is such a fast flow, and this car really fast, and really very capable drivers are holding the line. So that there are really no many overtaking hotspots. You have to be really faster to make a difference over the car ahead. For example, let's see now Glover and Russo. Russo just 1/10 behind Glover. I think in this phase, Russo is really faster than the American driver. Let's see if he'll find a way to attack. Maybe here. We got the get W on the inside. Glover resists. Russo tries to hold on to the outside of the switcheroo. But it's not available because then Glover holds on. Ravensberger aims to join the party while Ivanov has made a mistake. Ivanov made a terrible mistake because now he's fallen down the order. He's now last in the GT3 class. That is really a shame for the Bulgarian driver. But up front, it's all yet unchanged with Glover holding on both Russo and Ravensberger and Infantino joining the trio in the trade for the third place. And Russo trying to disturb the action of the third Mustang. But Glover seemingly holding on really well. Look at Russo, has lost it. He just missed the apex. And he's lost to Ravensberger, to Infantino, to Tirenda. And he rejoins ahead of Prentice, losing 3 places in the process. That's a really terrible mistake by Domenico Russo, who I believe has just put the pressure on the tires a little bit too much than they asked for. While for now Jack Prentice and Taksdolski fighting for 8 place. The Ipswich driver on the Mercedes is ahead for now after a great start by his side. While Russo will aim to rebuild what he had installed after a good qualifying run. For now it sits 1.9 seconds behind the Tirrena. But the traffic of Glover, which is not really that much of a traffic because Glover now is almost trying to catch on there. So the fight for third place will transform in a multiple battle for second and third place. With Desert now losing a little bit of time after pushing in the first minutes of this multi-class race. So far, so good in the GT3 class. Same as in GT4, while Matteo leading by a huge margin on Marco Poletti and Sciapri. Then Scanner, the moves that we've had a great start now have fallen back a little behind. Now it's 5th behind the Keller. The Mercedes really not that much competitive on the race pace tonight. While McLean is trying to predict some movements from Laming and Lady. While Paris and Beltrame, they already made a pit stop and now are a liability for those GT3 car class. And Beltrame got a little bit of contact with the Ferrari of Beek. Now he had to let them pass. Beek has certainly got some damages on the front bumper. Ooh, and he resists to Lopo attempt to overtake. And as well, Lopo really did well to hold on Overland in the McLaren. Meanwhile, in the GT3 class, Ivanov is the first to come into the pits for a pit stop, but no surprise there because of the huge amount of damage that he caught on the bodywork of the Mercedes. Oh, and there's a contact, a disaster for Ravensberger, went bang into the barriers after contact, I believe, with Mirko Tirrena, I believe. What a... Nevertheless, that went horribly wrong for Ravensberger. Will now lose a rail a couple of times there. All to advantage of Tirrena, who's now in 5th. to the Zero Infantino, who see themselves free from the pressure of one real contender for the podium places. So Ramsberg into the pits. I believe it will be a huge pit stop for him. But De Rosa had overtook Van der Waal for P9. And the Tiger will aiming to approach a tactical apprentice. He does not want to be something less compared to the other countrymen, Marcel and Martino Tirrena, who are fighting for victory and podium places. Also, Brocken comes into the pits after suffering a major accident as well. Not good at all for them. And again, fighting between the Zer and Tirrena, contact between the two Ferraris. Tirrena trying to fight back, but the Zer is able to defend itself and prevent for any overtaking opportunities on Tirrena. We now have to watch from Domenico Russo, who is inside at the Brooklands, inside, and managed to complete the move of Tirrena, who has been caught on surprise by the BMW driver, and so Domenico Russo takes back 5th place and now tries to even get on the inside of the Z, the exit of the field. But there's not enough room, not enough grip from his rear tires. While behind him we see some lap cars in the GT4 category. Paris, that's one of them. One of which they already did a pit stop in the beginning. Wow, and Russo managed to overtake the Zer on the cops. We lost that fight. I did not believe that was possible, but the Zer is in real trouble now, because now Tirrena is trying to approach him for 5th place. But the Zer holds on brilliantly for now. And Tirrena again on the outside, on the Vale corner. And now they outside it inside, and that's an insane move by Tirrena, who manages to overtake the Zer and take 5th place. Great pass by the Italian man on the Ferrari number 829, and now takes a 5th place. And can aim to try stay with Russo to catch up on the pair to contend the podium of Glover and Infantino. Maybe an update, we have something on the GT4 class, maybe the midfield. We have Leti McAlina slowing down. What happened to McAlina? He stopped out. Don't know that if there was just maybe a problem with peripheric or maybe some fair play for some contact he caused. But nevertheless, McAlina now dropped into P29, which is I believe P12 in the GT4 class. Real shame for him. Well, our chat supposedly talking about how slow the Audi GT4 was. Maybe probably for some drivers. How about we jump on board with Nicky Witzer, our GT4, as the Belgian driver is aiming to approach and try to fight with Twiddle from P26. On board with him, if it is allowed, let's see. Yes, we are now on board with it. And the fight continues for these two drivers, with Wilson now, for now, unable to make some progress on the twiddle. And so he's forced to be stuck behind the Mercedes driver in the GT4 class. While Infantino, whoa, really pushing himself really hard to try pass Glover. He went full out of the limits of the white lines at the stall. While Domenico Russo managed to approach and now catch the spare fighting for second place. And so did Tirrena. He really is like a Glover train, considering he's slowing down all the others. And oh! Glover with a near miss. After missing on the counter with the Porsche GT4, I believe it was on McLean. It was broken. No, it was indeed McLean, sorry. Luckily, no consequences for Glover or for any of the other drivers in that point of the circuit. But now another GT4 car in the way of the American driver, and it is Audi R8 of, I believe it's Smith, which might have a little bit of liability for Glover, but Glover manages to complete the lapping without any problems. No, that's Trotman, oh no, contact between Trotman and Glover after Infantino was aiming to pass on the outside, and that scared the flipping gets out of Infantino, of Glover, sorry. And so Infantino, in the most casual and bizarre way, manages to take second place, while Russo manages to take third out of Glover. We now try and move on the outside of Russo for P3 again. Oh, contact between Russo, contact with him, and another GT4 class, and then another contact with him, Glover. And Glover takes back a little place on the podium, but he went too deep on the curb, and so they will present a chance to Tirrena on the outside of the club corner. They both with the wheel, another contact, another bam. They're really pushing a little bit harder there now. Tirrena, Glover, Tirrena holds on Glover for third place. What a chaotic few minutes has been now. Glover trying to fight back on the Tirrena. On the arena section, tries with a deep dive. Oh, and he blocks the attempt of Tirrena of a switcheroo. And so Glover takes back at least a place on the podium, while Russo is sixth behind Jack Prentice. That's what happens when you left to lap GT4 car. We were 9 laps done. Dermancella still leading with over 13 seconds of advantage over Infantino. Then it's Glover in third, ahead of Tirrena, Prentice and Russo. Then these Taksowski, Van der Walle, onto the others. Now watch out Glover, because it's being held by a Mercedes GT4 class. And I believe that is Twiddle, because now ahead of it, it's Matt Slaughter. And the Glover manages to lap them both without any major problems. And so does Tirrena. Tirrena still trying to follow Glover for third place. All in the middle of the lapping GT4 drivers. Well, we see now Taksowski now trying to fight Desert, and Desert having a slow exit out of the club, and so Taksowski manages to take 7th place, move up another position. but the guy is really in free fall after being second for some phases of the race. Back with Glover and Tirrena. Glover now has two GT4 car to lap, including the Mercedes of Lameg. Seemingly Glover a little to no problem at all, and so does Tirrena. Good job by Lameg on this one. Meanwhile, Jack Prentice and Van der Waal on the first GT3, he carts on the pack without any problems to make their way to the pit lane with a mandatory stop. We see then Sharpie in the Porsche GT4 completing his stop, as well as Poletti rejoining the racetrack. Sharp rejoice ahead of the Munster, who is now left with some real complication with Broken. Broken manages to overtake him, and the Munster counting the Beckets. Not a good day for Broken, by the way. This is, in my opinion, the third battle. So lap cars in the way between Tirrena and Glover. Glover can take advantage to make some room, but Tirrena still hold on behind Keller. Now he finally manages to lap him, but he lost at least a second of gap between himself and Glover. The Glover now can breathe a little at least.
We are at the halfway mark, still on way to
We
go.
are in the halfway mark of this race. Rivaldino, Lopo, Pino are all into the pits, while there is some real fighting up ahead. Keller and D'Amica, I believe. Yes, it is Keller and D'Amica. Whoa, while the Ferrari of Desert almost risked losing its front bumper after risking a contact with D'Amica. It's a point of the track where most have risked entering contact with the others. And now we're at Remerson, the dominating GT3 car, who hits the pit lane for his mandatory pit stop, as well as Infantino and Glover, while Tirrena continues. So Tirrena takes the provisional lead of the race. Also Russo into the pits, Takskovsky into the pits. Desert continues, even though he is really struggling in this moment. as do Gedman and Overland. It is getting really hot, and not only the track, even though it's only 24 degrees on the air, 31 on the track, but it's getting hotter also in the driver's cockpit because the driver minds, because now with only 20 minutes left, you have to be careful, think of every move, of every lapping on the GT4, because every move can decide victory or a placement out of the podium, especially for those who are ahead of them. Marcel now is near Van der Sloot, and he passes without problems. Practice goes in on Glover, while Tirenna now also joins the pit lane. I believe now the Zero will be joining him as well, as he does so. German continues, Chris German continues. He wants to lead the race for at least a couple of laps, as well tries to do over that, while Marquez now is being overtaken by Marcella. Marquez is yet to come into the pit, so it's really real demonstration of strength by Andrea Marcella. While Mikko Tirenna approaches for a quick pit stop, at least compared to his rivals. Let's see where that will end up, because Infantino now is on the straight and Tirenna is yet to lift the pit speed limiter, so Infantino is still ahead of Mirko. But it's ahead of Russo and Glover, who lost a couple of seconds behind the traffic GT4, and now also Vegev. Meanwhile, out the situation in the GT4, because Mantego is still leading with a huge gap over the rest of the GT4 class. Meanwhile, GT4, the only cars who are yet to come into the pits are D'Amica, Laming and Pospisil. As now Sharp in the booster leaves space for our GT3 car. But the Mooster still can find a way to get closer and to attack Sharpie. It must be becoming really frustrating for the Belgian. Ganman into the pits, now Overled from Norway is the leader of the race. Let's see where Gedman will come back into the track, in which position. Let's see Marquez into the pits as well. "16 minutes on the clock." And so now let's take a moment Let's see now. And oh no! Stop and go penalty for Chris Gedman. We missed this penalty, which was usual to see tackle because someone just brought down the cartel sign of speed limit. And now Gedman is the first and so far only driver who got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Let's see what will the Scottish do now, even though I believe it will come in dead last. Overland into the pits now. Sandra Marcella will take back the lead of the race ahead of Infantino and Tirrena for an Italian lockout, the podium lockout, an Italian podium lockout. And it's even a 1, 2, 3, 4 lockout by Italy, considering Domenico Russo for now is in 4th place ahead of Glover. A really great race for those Italian colors, as Marcella now is the leader, with Infantino second and Tirrena third. And Marcella looks like, again, it is flying, really flying on the track. D'Amica into the pits. Matteo now outside the final corner. He will take most surely the lead of the GT4 race back, as it is, because now Mantego takes back 4th place in the class, with Poletti second. Ignore possibly who yet to conquer the pits, and now possibly comes in the pits and in space for Marco Poletti to take second. Gedman now is into the pits to save a 30-second stop and go penalty, which is basically a free complete pit stop. With the surfing. Let's jump on board then for another battle. This time is the Polish one, Taskowski. Try to catch on Jack Prentice and try to find him for 6th place. Drive through for car number 12. But let's jump on board now on Taskowski. As you can see, he's already trying to overtake Prentice and is now full on attack on board with him. The pressure is still ramping up between Takskowski and Prentice, with Takskowski trying everything to throw him for 6th place. The Prentice is holding up and is not giving up. Well, after the GT4 pit stop now, Luca Mantego is leading with a huge margin. Mantego and Marcella both leading with huge margins. For now, it seems like no one is going to stop them. Well, look at that. Adam Schape is in 3rd place for a GT4 class with D'Amica fighting with the other cars, the Munter, and that's caught between the pair of Mercedes. The Munter taking 4th, and oh no! That is absolutely unacceptable. D'Amica just went to the dive bomb to search directly, almost intentionally, contact with the Munter, as well as is spinning. That is silly from D'Amica. That is really silly, and I believe when the Munter will raise a ticket and the stewards race direction will look at it, a heavy penalty might be coming in the way of D'Amica, who for now sits in 4th place behind Sharpe, but I am sure he will not conserve this position. The Munter now is in 6th behind Keller, and I believe he will have all the reason to be fuming at D'Amica's maneuver. Look at this, we have 24 spectators live. That is really incredible. We have just you supporting Takskowski, saying go, go, go. It's really nice for all of you to jump on and watch out our live stream and this race as it's approaching its final stage. Takskowski now is a little bit further away from Prentice in the 6th place, but let's see if the Polish driver will push and hope till the end for an opportunity to take a P6. A drive-through meanwhile to be spent on Wits. A real first day to forget by the Belgian driver. And also by the Munter, who is the P6, but he has been hit by D'Amica into an outrageous attempt of an overtake here at the arena section. That is just not good from both the parts, because the Munter podium chances are now over, all in favor of Sharpe, who's done nothing proper now. And D'Amica is risking a big penalty at the end of after the end of this race. Meanwhile, we have no problems at all. It's Andrea Marcella who's now lapping the Munter. He's still pushing really hard. Absolutely incredible by Marcella. I am lost for words there. And look at, oh! And Keller's McLaren GT4 going really slow with the exit on the bracket. Marcella have to cut the corner, risking a collision that would put an end to its victory hopes. And that would have been a real heartbreak for the Italian driver in the Porsche. Luckily, nothing happened there. And now Bick is because good approaching near Overland. The Norway driver with the McLaren for P11. Let's see if there might be a chance of a fight there with a big on Overland at the maggots. No room there. Both cars are seemingly equal on the corner, on the stability. Let's see on the engine, on the straight speed. I believe the McLaren will have a slight advantage. But Vika has the slipstream to his advantage. But Overland holds up for P11. Let's see now if the Vale corner. Not yet. But Overland goes a little bit wide. The exit will be compromised for him. Big tries on the outside, but there's not enough room. Not enough room to even hold the outside. And now he tries. It is a third one of the Formula 1 layout. But Overland is able to still hold position. Really good defensive action by Overland. A big tries, over the curbs, and contact with Overland. And the big, after the contact, takes the position on Overland. I believe Overland will not be happy about that. Big try to avoid contact, but it was still in a real hard position because was holding on with two wheels on the curbs. Not the ideal position for an overtake. Watch for them being reached by Marcolino in the silver Aston Martin Vantage. Who had the drive-through for car number 12, which is Paris. Drive-through for him, so we'll lose the place on Twiddle, on Smith, and maybe even on Witz, if it's not lapped yet. Watching back ahead. Now big sympathy going away from the pair. Yes, it is. And so it leaves only Overland and Lino for the fight of P12, while Andrea Marcella now with a huge gap. And he has 2 minutes and 25 seconds to spare. I believe he will go with 2 more laps. We have 2 more laps for all the drivers who will come on after him. And while there's a real fight on our hands between Overland and Lino, watch out also for Tienda, who is approaching Infantino. They both teammates. What will be the strategy on this one? Free to race, or they will ask to hold position and to not risk anything, seemingly because they are in the last lap of the race. Meanwhile, Marcolino overtook Overland. So P12 for the Italian man. Let's see now. Our fan favorite, Tax Tukowski, who is in 7, just under a second distance from practice. But time is running out. Drive-through, is the same advice for Paris as the Mutter comes back into the pits. That's a real disgrace for him, this race. Pit windows closed and everyone managed to complete the mandatory pit stop. With the Muster and Trotman, who Trotman is just doing so. Oh, look at this now, Prentice. Almost lost the rear after being held on danger by the amount of GT4 cars who are fighting. It is only the Mercedes McLaren of Van der Sloot, but then ahead we have also Rooster Glover, who are not yet down fighting.
Right, man, leader is on the final
and Marcella started the final lap, while the midfield is all or nothing now. Rooster Glover, Prentice and Takskolski. Takskolski tries on the outside of Prentice. Then switcheroo. But the Ipswich man, it's real good on defending the line. Nothing to be done at this point. While Infantino and Tirrena both starting the final lap, I believe they will hold the position and not risk anything in the final 5 kilometers of the Silverstone circuit. We see now Glover approaching near Russo as Takskolski doing the same on Prentice. But again, I believe if there are no mistakes from the driver ahead of them, there will be no real opportunities. And to Glover is now over because he's been held off by also Mercedes. So he lost a couple of attempts on Russo. Tirrena is not attacking Infantino, so maybe the only battle can happen will be one between the Prentice and Takskolski for P6. And Takskolski, as you can see, is really using a slip. He already giving it everything to try and pass Prentice down the outside of the stove. He holds on, but there's not enough room. Prentice still in the 6th place. But Takskolski not giving up even a little. And so it will be a fight who I believe will go down to the last meter. While Andrea Marcella, again on a class of her own, takes the checkered flag and dominates off to round number 2 at Silverstone. A fantastic victory, no Temptonshire for Marcella in his Porsche. And now he gives it a little drift. Just on the great joy. Infantino will take 2nd place with Tirrena 3rd. No reason to see an attack now. While let's see now the last minute within Prentice and Takskolski. The Polish driver still trying anything to take a position. Maybe the lap field will be the last stance, the last chance on Prentice. But he holds the side very well. Takskolski has no room and nowhere to go. And so Prentice will take 6th place behind Russo Glover ahead of Takskolski. Great fight between both of them, separated by only 3/10 of a second. So Marcella wins, Infantino 2nd. While in the GT4, Mantego's already crossed the finish line and wins the GT4 class ahead of Poletti and Sharpe. Very well done also by the Britishman in the Porsche. Really well done. So, back on the GT3. Marcella 1st, Infantino 2nd, Tirrena 3rd, Russo in 4th, ahead of Glover, Prentice, Takskolski, Rosa, Desert, and Van der Waal to round up the top 10. Then 11 Beek, 12 for Overland, ahead of Marcolino and Lobo. There was a contact on Dino, and Overland took back the place on the Italian. Lobo is in 14, Ramsperger is in 15, then Pino, Ivanov, Marquez, Gedman ends up, oh my, head in P19, the car upside down, behold the terrain. That's a real bug, if I ever see that one. Just we were strong scene then. I don't think you were supposed to see that. Last car finishing, Pino, Ivanov, and then would be Marquez. Ooh, when he's just left with no fuel left. So he's trying to hold on, I believe. Try to hold on and reach the finish line because he did not expect the extra lap. And that's a shame for him. He wants to finish the race to be classified at least ahead of Gedman. He will certainly be classified ahead, but he wants to see the checker flag. Or maybe it is, I don't think it is for damage. Not at all. But either way, Marcella wins in the GT3 class. Mantego wins in GT4 class. The two dominators of Multiclass Thursday strike back even at Silverstone. And Marquez cannot manage to cut the checker flag before the time limit. So It's session over and race done and dusted. So the official result before signing out. Andrea Marcella winning ahead of Sergio Infantino and Mirko Tirena, then Domenico Russo, Brenda Glover, Jack Prentice, Takskolski, De Rosa, Deser, Van der Waal, Beek, Overland, Lino, Lopo, Ramesperger, Pino, Ivanov, Marquez, Gelman, and Broken. Then in the GT4 Classics, Luca Mantego, Marco Poletti, Adam Sciappi, D'Amica, Keller, Laming, Van der Slot, Liti, Beltrame, Twiddle, Pospisil, Metz, Perez, Witze, Els, De Booster, Trotman, and McAleen. And so that's the end of our activities tonight. A reminder that the race week will continue Sunday with round 3 of the Super Sprint Sunday season, same as Silverstone. Then we'll pack up things, take the taxi or the train and head to Auto Park for round number 3 of this Assetto Corsa Competizione season 23 with the same program. Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, Thursday, the Multiclass Thursday, and Sunday, the Super Sprint Sunday. But for tonight, is it all from me? I'm Andrea Mattavelli. Thank you everyone who joined us and interacted with us today. I hope you all had fun, and I hope you will all support us by clicking the like and subscribing to our channel and subscribing to our Patreon channel. That's all for today. Thank you for joining and wish you a very good evening. Good night.